Hello everybody and welcome. Today we are going to talk about Dragon Quest. And I said I finished Dragon Quest 3 recently, and now I just finished Dragon Quest 4 for the Nintendo DS. I played it on my DS Lite, and I'm really happy that I invested into getting a DS Lite again. It's very cheap. You can play your GBA games and the Nintendo DS games. GBA emulation is pretty good. You can play it in many ways, even legit ways that the Nintendo is selling them for. But the Nintendo DS situation is way harder to get into. And I don't think there is any adequate way to kind of fully experience the way that these games were supposed to play. Because even on emulators, you see this kind of thing when the screens get captured that they don't really have this gap here that you see on a Nintendo DS that was perceived in order to have a specific way of you viewing things. For example, when I saw the big Colossus on the huge statue in DQ4, you could see that there was a gap, and they knew. They made the whole clip all around you knowing that you will have this gap. It won't be weird when you're watching this, but if you're playing it in emulators and stuff, these kind of things kind of get missed. I have tried to play these games with my Steam Deck, and I just thought that it was not the same. You were not really getting the feeling. This feeling gonna be completely fine if you have a 2DS or a 3DS, so you don't have specifically to get the Lite, but I think the Lite is really good investment even in 2024 because it's so lightweight. It's like less size than my phone. It can fit in your pocket, and the battery lasts really long. So without further ado, let's get into the gameplay. Let's talk about Dragon Quest 4 and what I loved about this. So the story, first of all, was really interesting to me. I really liked how they started the game. It felt like this game was the one that inspired games like Octopath Traveler, and I think still after playing like Dragon Quest 4 compared to Octopath 2 and Octopath 1, Dragon Quest 4 is still better. I liked it more, and the way that you were doing things just felt more natural to me. If you never played this game and you played Octopath, there is nothing against it. It's not like Octopath is a bad game, but when you're playing this, you kind of see the difference and you kind of see the inspiration. But yeah, this was just a comment about that for anyone that is more familiar with newer JRPGs. So if you like Octopath Traveler, you cannot really go wrong with this one, and you're probably gonna like it even more because it has the Dragon Quest charm. And I'm not talking only about the way that they have been doing, the Akira Toriyama art style. That is a very big thing and a staple in the series, but mostly I'm talking about the way that the characters interact, their personalities, and the humorous aspect a lot. Those things, they're not really part of other games anymore. And you see, now I'm going a little bit off topic here, but I think it's important. You see franchises like Final Fantasy completely trying to chase dragons and try to be something that they're not because they want to be a popular franchise, but Dragon Quest keeps being itself. It doesn't try to change, it doesn't try to become something else, it just continues to be what it is, and I'm really happy for that because I have played like 20 hours of 11. I was playing it at the same time that I was playing Dragon Quest 4, and I haven't finished that one yet, but I could see that the spirit from that game is not gone. Sure, there is a lot of quality of life things and extra things, but the spirit of Dragon Quest 3 and 4, I could definitely see it even on 11 still. The way that the game plays, doesn't really change too much. If you know one game, you know them all. Now, specifically for Dragon Quest IV here, a little bit of more of my impressions and kind of a review. First of all, I will definitely recommend the game. The way that I will do this is not going to be about, giving a score or anything. I don't care about that thing. I'm not a game critic. But I will definitely want to speak if this was something like if you played HD Remake, is it alright game to invest into, because these games are quite expensive to get them now, and is it fine to just buy it, or even if you want to just use an R4 card or whatever other reason or a way to play it on your 3DS to play the ROM, because there is also a feature in this game that was kind of lost, and that is party chat is kind of lost in this game. The mobile port has it, but honestly, I will never go to try to play such a game on my phone, especially when it's this grindy. I just don't like playing games on my phone in general. So overall, this game has been feeling fantastic. If you are familiar, as I said before, with other franchises like Octopath Traveler, you're gonna feel at home here because it has the different chapters, and that is also in the title as well, the chapters of the Chosen, which divides the game into chapters with going back and forth to other characters, and then you all meet up. And the meeting part up is pretty interesting. It doesn't, usually in other games, the introduction chapters are not too long. In some chapters here, definitely were longer than others, and you could feel it. Like some chapters at the start were very small, and then the more you were going, you were starting again all over. Some people may have a little bit of a problem with that. Personally, I didn't, even when I played it in kind of a rush, because I finished it in like a week, and this game was like 40 hours. So I played a lot, and this game is not meant to be played like this. You're used to games like now and metagaming and all of this, that you want to finish a game immediately. But this game, especially because it is a handheld, it's meant to be played in short bursts. And Dragon Quest really carries this kind of spirit, and you could see it even from quick saves and all of those ways that they had to make the game possible in order for you to keep playing and enjoying without really losing any of your progress. You could just quick save, quit the game, and then come back. Even if you have really low battery, you don't have to go on standby or anything. And I found that amazing because it is quite a big problem when you're playing in short bursts. Now, this kind of thing kind of gets lost in other games, even when they're going to the Switch. And it's kind of the way that you see some aspects of the more handheld based gaming kind of getting away, because all they want to do now is kind of make console games be able to be played portable. And I mean, like games that were meant to be played on a TV, now they're kind of just being transferred over. So we are kind of losing a little bit of gameplay that was exclusive to handheld. So like how it was supposed to be played to save you time, or it's gonna be grindy, but you still like have those small bursts of gameplay that you would enjoy on your train or on your way home or just before you sleep, and you will be able to play the game for a little bit. Anyway, with all that further aside, I really enjoyed the gameplay. It was not too different from Dragon Quest III. The only thing that I would say is that in this game, because you're going like Dragon Quest III had the markers that you could have them on, in this game I understood why Dragon Quest never had markers before. The reason for that is because they want you to have the adventure, just like Pokemon. They want you to go around, they want you to fool around, they want you to die in an area that you're not supposed to be, and they want you to go and explore the whole Earth, which literally you have the world map at some point. You have like air, you can go by air, you can go by boat, you can go by foot in most of the areas. There's many things that you can do, and it really feels like actually an adventure. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like at some point like One Piece, that you were going around with the boat, fighting sometimes pirates or fighting some interesting stuff. So to me that felt really cool. But overall, I think this game, again, I will definitely recommend it for someone to play if you like the Dragon Quest 3 HD remake. The only thing I wish it had is that the bosses felt a little bit too easy. Now, is it because the Dragon Quest 3 bosses were harder? That could be the case. I felt like the last boss on Dragon Quest 4 on the DS was kind of like almost like 5 or 6 bosses in Dragon Quest 3. Definitely the HD remake was way harder than this compared. But I kind of understand though, because this is an older game, maybe they tried to ramp up a little bit the difficulty on Dragon Quest 3 HD remake for people to be a little bit more challenged. But in this specific game, most of the boss fights felt quite easy, especially at the time that I had Kabaf. On Kirill, most of the boss fights felt quite easy. It didn't really feel like that I was doing anything that needed to be done more. And overall, yeah, I think that this is a great game. The characters are great. You can see their personality. I think it's a cool thing that you can see. This was not really about the hero. This was not only about one character. It was all of the characters, all the chosen heroes. Even though you kind of get in the spotlight as the hero of Zenithia because you have all the equipment, that is also something cool, that you go and hunt the best equipment and then you put it all on, and they have also special abilities. I really loved when games are doing that. I don't think games are doing that anymore, and it's more like substantial upgrades. Oh, and also something that I wanted, almost forgot. The cursed equipment here is so different because it just gives you a hint that, oh, this item has a little bit something that you maybe need to be aware about, like, or it has something extra. And then you realize by the equipment name that things gonna be different, like the Hellas hammer and some mask that I found accidentally. They have cursed item like on 3, and if you put them on without thinking, well, you will have to go back and abandon the dungeon if you don't want to use them. But it's very interesting because you have like you can have specific builds of how things are getting worked. So overall, again, this game felt balanced. And what really surprised me was the music as well. The more I play these games, there can be similar music between the games, but I never get tired of it. No matter how long I hear it, even when I'm grinding. That is the interesting part to me. Even when I'm grinding for hours for King Metal Slimes, I still was able to just be like, oh, you know what, this is fine. And just enjoy the soundtrack. Even though it was not symphonic or anything. But yeah, definitely for me, this was a great experience. And the next to go is going to be Dragon Quest 5. I'm waiting for it to arrive on mail. And then when I finish that, eventually, I will make another video for this. And the remaining games for this here are all the DS and the 3DS games. All of them are here. And also, I have over here Dragon Quest 11, both of the 11 games, Heroes that I'm playing on the side on the PlayStation Portal, which feels fantastic, and Dragon Quest Monsters, Dragon Quest Builders 2, and Dragon Quest Treasures. Now all those games eventually gonna be played and I'm gonna make videos about them, but right now we are still on 4. So thank you for watching, hope you have a great day, and please play Dragon Quest, and if you haven't checked out already, check out Dragon Quest 4, and if you can play it, I guess on a DS or a 3DS for a better experience. See you next time!